Hi friends, it's Andriy Vasylenko and welcome to QnA number. So this time we got almost 400 questions, gotta boil it down to about 30, but anyway the rest are mostly ones I have answered before, some literally in the first Q&A, someone was not watching carefully. So yeah, let's jump right into it. Do you ever play bass while standing up? Yes, actually that's how I practice bass, but on video you see me sitting simply because the camera cannot capture me in the whole height. The angle is too narrow. I actually wanted to record my Orion tribute. Cliff did everything while standing, but I just could not fit in the shot. So yeah, that's basically it. What was your first instrument and do you still own it? Yes, my first bass was Ural, the Soviet bass. You can break walls with it. That's actually its main purpose. It was barely working, but that was my first piece of gear. And I still keep it. That's almost an antique item. You once uploaded a video where you covered Hardwired and the bass was headless white. What's the model? There's no model. This is the only item in the world and I happen to be the last owner of it. I really want to write music, but I cannot really write good stuff since everything I come up with sounds like it's already done before. There's this phenomenon when music teachers who know so much of music theory, who teach kids, who know all the nuances of Bach and Mozart, they're afraid to write their own music. And that's actually why a lot of self-taught musicians really go far into it and become legends, like Metallica. They don't have this block, this burden of knowing too much at first. So they just go and write music. At first it might sound dull and you cannot avoid sounding like someone in the first steps of your songwriting way. So just go for it. You'll always be able to return to it and remake it, but you'd prefer just making another song, another riff. So yeah, start writing and don't be afraid of it. What are the most important things a person learning bass should keep in mind? First, rhythm. You gotta be precise, you gotta play with click just to make this click embedded in your mind. You gotta practice with time and accents. And second, muting and controlling noises. And you're gonna control that in order to actually make sense of playing notes, yeah? So yeah, rhythm and muting. How is your physical condition? How are your eyes? And how are you in general? Thanks for carrying. I'm alright. Hope you are too. Do you think about releasing a course that you would teach in or give lessons? I would, but I don't think I'm really good enough in something to make a course on. I'm not really professional in anything in particular, so I'd rather make just free lessons on YouTube. But if you think I'm competent enough in something to make a course out of, let me know. Maybe that's composing, maybe whatever. Did you always want to have kids? And do you feel a lot older or more responsible? Was it a big challenge at first? It is a challenge. It was a challenge and it will be a challenge. I did not mind having kids in the future. It turned out to be both much more difficult and much more easy at the same time to have kids and family. I actually adjusted to it. I got used to this new role of father and sometimes I do think that I had too much on my shoulders all of a sudden. But I'm adjusting. I feel like I'm really becoming more mature and being a late child. I was born when my parents were almost 40 and they are now in their 60s. I want my kid have the parents as long as possible, you know what I mean? How does having so many subs on YouTube feel? I feel almost the same as the time I got my first breakthrough in April 2017 when I got to 10,000 subscribers. When I started to feel like it's making sense. And ever since I just keep becoming more professional without actually realizing how people see me from a side. And actually no, nobody recognizes me in the streets. But I am recognized on YouTube, on the internet. Whenever I post a comment on any kind of videos, people find me and say shit like, "What are you doing here? I see you everywhere." If you are seeing me everywhere, you are everywhere. We are both on YouTube and we are watching videos. What was the process like in becoming a teacher? I'm curious because a career choice for me was becoming a high school history or English teacher. If that's an option for you, if it feels great to become a teacher, go for it. If you feel this itch to teach someone, if you feel like it's your calling, go for it. In my case, I do feel like I am a teacher in general sense, but becoming the real teacher in the school and university, it was the worst option with my skills. It's really sad when people who just don't have a job, they become teachers, and the schools accept them because there is shortage of teachers. If it's not the job for him or her, both they and the children suffer, and the whole education system too. But if you feel like it's your calling, there's nothing that can stop you, and the children and their parents will be so grateful, and they will remember you for the entire life. Do you think about making videos fixing Metallica songs that could have been better in your opinion? There's so many series that just wait their time, and I might need collaborators to make it happen, so yeah, we'll see. What's your opinion on doing both YouTube video and real job? Well, there's nothing bad in having a real job, even though it's been trendy to say it sucks. In my case, it was really the sucky option to work on someone in my country, in my town, and YouTube was the only way to actually make something out of me. But what is a real job anyway? If you are making money doing something, if you are having fun doing it, if it brings some order and stability in your life, then it's a real job for you. But if you mean making YouTube videos while having some work in the real outdoor world, it's a myth that it's the perfect job for everyone, the easiest job. That's a total myth. I'm actually undermining my health doing YouTube. But at this point, I've gone so far into it. If you go far into something, if you become good at something, it could be reasonable to utilize that. But even if you do YouTube as your hobby, as part-time job or something, if you are original enough, if you do it for long enough, you are becoming more creative, you become more skilled in front of camera, and then you might be actually growing on YouTube while having the real job. But I suggest you actually learn some skill, especially if you are young. You have such an advantage now to become a specialist in something. For me, it was too late, especially after starting a family. I had to embrace being a jack of all trades, to combine my skills into something of a value, find my mission and job in this kind of stuff. Become better, learn stuff and just try it. And most importantly, do you like meshuggah? Meshuggah is a band that I have known for a long time, since 2010 or something. But ever since, I did not really get into checking them out in their entirety. And that's actually what I'm doing now. I listened through all their albums. I might make a video on it, but not like from this really deep perspective, but maybe like, so I finally listened to meshuggah or something. There's so many bands and genres I had a surface knowledge of. We'll see, maybe meshuggah will be the first one. Are you ever going to open a second channel to focus on a different band other than Metallica? Well, if you have been watching my videos for at least a year, you know that once in a while I make something not related to Metallica or even Megadeth. But that's really hard. Inside of the YouTube kitchen, it's like a bubble. It's really hard to break out of, you know? Only this year I kinda let it go. And now I can make videos more versatile, not relying on this analytics that YouTube suggesting this video performs very poorly. Your subscribers don't like it, so we're not going to promote it, so we deprive you of motivation to make something in the future like this. So yeah, I do consider it like this final year of doing this channel, my main channel actually, more or less regularly. I might give it a try and do it more versatile. Like, what else am I gonna lose? Yeah? I have so many ideas, so many series I just put on a shelf. Again, meshuggah, Gojira, Iron Maiden. I wish there were 5 Andriys to do that all. And actually, I have a secret channel. Stay updated. Any update on your geography channel? I was really enjoying it. There's only so much I can do having two hands and one head. In the end of last year I was focused on my main channel to give it a push before kind of phasing out this year. And now I'm trying to get into this new routine. I actually have a lot of scripts written for that channel, for Geohead, that are waiting to become videos, and this month's gonna be one for sure. And thanks for supporting whatever I do. Do you enjoy modern metal, metalcore, deathcore, stuff like that? That's the case when I have heard some examples of those styles over the years, but I did not really get into listening a bunch of it. But I might. It feels like my duty, and I'm really curious, how would I tackle this new stuff with my approach to analyzing, breaking down? I'll make it like, so I finally listen to this. What do you think? Do you still write some of your own music? If so, how's that going? Yes, I do. For the last couple of years, every half year I made an acoustic EP, and last September I had finished the cycle, and now I wanted to continue this tradition just to keep the chain. This is a great way to stick to something. I am writing another acoustic composition to be released this month. Follow me on Bandcamp and on this channel, and maybe I finally get my hands on doing some metal stuff. But yeah, the most important thing, I keep writing my own music. My goal is not to make money from it, but I look at it like a knife that's gonna be sharpened once in a while. A skill I don't want to lose. That's what I wish to you too. How can I make my YouTube channel more popular when I am making Metallica related videos? There is always be room for Metallica related content, but at the same time I don't feel much competition. Everyone else is, I don't know, afraid to step into it, afraid competition from me, I don't know. I saw attempts by some bloggers to do a similar kind of style of videos, but they did not continue. I chose the hard way. Scripts, making my own face appear, making editing, making my perspective, my own vision of Metallica's music. Maybe it's not for everyone, maybe the easy way is for you, making like clips of Metallica. Fortunately, there's so many of Metallica's interviews, documentaries and whatnot. Lately, there's been kind of rise of these clips channels of Metallica. If you are to go down this way, my suggestion is to be fair. The future of YouTube is to put the links, put the references, mention where you took it from. I try to put the sources in my videos. If it's taken from Metallica channel, I usually don't, because from the logo it's taken from their channel. But if it's a cover, mention it in the video, and if it's really important, I'll leave a link in the description, even a playlist, like I did on Master of Puppets analysis. I made a full playlist of lessons and breakdowns of Master of Puppets, and just shared it in the description. Be fair, be consistent, and be creative. That's the way you should take if you want to stay on YouTube for long. I always try to learn a new song on my guitar, but every time I stop on the middle of the road, sometimes the songs are difficult and I can't play. It's alright. There's tons of songs with different levels of difficulty within. If Metallica like Orion and Master of Puppets and Anesthesia, they'll have from beginner to really advanced levels. Don't be stuck at one song if you are facing it. Learn what you can, move on to another riff, just improve your technique from all the sides. And with time, try to return to the hard licks. You gotta practice, you gotta have exercises, and have old video on this channel, how to learn hard riffs. You gotta get used to this routine, to go slower, to go note by note, and then gradually speed it up. That's the only way to make it right. And with time, you're just gonna have fun doing it. Do you have any questions for the Folkin band in case the opportunity of interviewing them presents itself? Yes, and I have a list. Here's a couple of questions, such as why didn't Jason contribute more riffs? He had few, those were bad, or just because of the special treatment? Are there songs you wish you could rewrite or remake? Was Always in My Hands such a case? What are Lars's riffs and how does he write them? What's the logic behind the songwriting credits of Metallica? Where are all the Cliff Burton's riff tapes? Do Lars and James always try to alter or improve Kirk's riffs? And of course, the ultimate list of Kirk Hammett's riffs. But the list is far from completion, so yeah, we'll continue to fill it up. How to expand one's imagination, creativity and craft? Creativity, it's a muscle you can train, like everything else. If you are already in music, it sits inside you. You just gotta reveal it, just open the gate. And the only way just to keep training the muscle by writing and composing. Do some challenge, like for the next 100 days, write a riff a day, regardless it sucks or not. Then you'll find out that at least 20% of it gonna be really good. Or another trick I'm using, just place your hand in a random position on the fretboard, play the notes, and try make something out of this. Like complete the melody, the riff. Don't stand up till you feel like it's a finished idea, record it, and then you go. Do you picture music in your head when you're listening? What I see is mostly the colors of the album cover. So when I listen to Orion or Damage Incorporated, I see this orange, yellowish colors from Master of Puppets cover. Ride the Lightning is bluish and Black Album is blackish, you know. This kind of visualization. I'm a visual kind of person, but in a weird way. If there's some riff I don't really find interesting, if I look at the tabs of it, I immediately like it more, for some reason. If I see the notes, it immediately gets more points from me. How would you go about practicing a part of a song you're struggling with without getting bored and stuff? Don't avoid the boredom. You are boring through the stones to get the fucking gold. Just make it a habit, like you are training in the gym. It's not really fun on its own, but when you feel that your muscles are warm and pumped up, you feel like you have worked and you get dope from it. That's the kind of attitude you can transpose on practicing guitar. When you have the routine, when you just sit and play because you cannot do otherwise. It's like going for a piss, going brush teeth. When you sit and play for half hour, even if you have a hard time nailing something, if you feel like you suck at guitar, just play it, accumulate those hours, accumulate these like coins. When you feel at the end of the half hour of practicing, your arm really had done job, plus 1 coin to your collection. Embrace the bore. What is a musician's mindset while composing a non-instrumental track? Actually, I kinda forgot how it feels to make a vocal-oriented song. For the last couple of years, I've been making instrumentals only. I really want to make it like a story, like a spiral, which loops itself, beginning, middle, end, but there's no like verse, chorus, verse structure. You just tell the story through the means of notes. I really have to think about it, you know? That's a really good question, thank you. If Black Sabbath did not exist, what would heavy metal be? Eventually, it would have been, because Black Sabbath were part of the rise of this new style, new sound, new culture. Metal was born from a bunch of different circumstances. Better amplification, distortion, just the natural evolution of music, the counterculture. When you have these really mellow, sweet love songs, there will be someone who would want to do the opposite. And then it just gets picked up by a wave of culture. Damn, I really have so many questions by you to make full videos out of. Not gonna promise anything, but keep it in mind. Alright guys, just for the future, you see that I prefer questions about, like, when you need some tip or some help, some advice from me in music or whatever, and I prefer these kind of questions, but they get drowned by all this, what's my favorite this, my favorite that, or questions that I have answered. So just consider it in the future, because there would be a wasted opportunity if I don't respond to those priority questions, you know? And if you didn't see your comment, your question in this Q&A, if you feel like you really need the answer from me, consider it for the next Q&A. Submit it next time, stay updated when I announce these Q&As. I really hope to make it like more or less regularly. Maybe questions that really stand out will turn into full videos. Again, we'll see, if only there were more Andriys. Hope you had fun, this new format. Let me know in the comments if that worked for you. See you next time, friends.